Friends, this is not a normal video. This is not one of those experiments you watch and forget, and you definitely shouldn't skip it, because what I am about to share might unlock something inside you, something ancient, something hidden, something you have never dared to face. What happened to me was not just psychological, it felt like crossing into a different layer of reality. By the end of this hour, I wasn't the same person anymore. Friends, most people avoid their own gaze. We pass mirrors 1,000 times, but rarely do we stop and truly look. But what if looking into your own eyes was a portal? Not metaphorically, literally. A portal to something deeper, something buried under thoughts, roles, identities, something you were never meant to forget. Friends, it all started on a strange evening. I had read stories about something called the mirror gaze phenomenon. Psychologists said it could induce hallucinations. Some spiritual circles believed it could trigger awakening. Some even warned against it. Naturally, I was hooked. I wanted to know the truth, so I decided to try it. 1 hour. No breaks, just my reflection. I sat down. No distractions, just silence and my eyes. The first 5 minutes? Boring. My mind raced, but then something changed. At around the 10-minute mark, my face began to shift. No, not physically, but perceptually. It was like staring at someone I used to know, but couldn't quite remember. My eyes looked deeper than I remembered, like they belonged to someone ancient. Then I saw faces. My face morphed, my skin rippled. I saw myself as a child, then a stranger, then something not human. I know how it sounds, but if you have ever gazed long enough, you will know. The mind doesn't just reflect, it reveals. But here is where it gets weirder. Around 20 minutes in, my sense of self began to fracture, not in a scary way, more like watching your identity peel away. It wasn't me anymore, not the name, not the job, not the personality, just presence watching itself. And in that presence came the silence, a silence so deep it swallowed every thought, every distraction, every mask. It was terrifying and peaceful. Around 30 minutes, I broke, not in pain, but in honesty. Tears fell, not because I was sad, but because I finally saw the real me. Not the one I performed for the world, but the scared one, the tired one, the one I have hidden even from myself. I was raw, exposing, almost too much, but then something clicked. A feeling I cannot fully explain. I felt like I was dissolving, not dying, dissolving into something larger. I became aware of a presence behind my eyes. I wasn't just me looking at the mirror, it was something beyond me, looking through me. Call it consciousness, call it soul, or something older than both. I had tapped into the observer, that part of us that exists beyond thoughts. Time stopped making sense. My body felt far away. My breath was the only thread keeping me anchored. Then the hour ended, and just like that, it was over. The spell broke. I was back. But something had changed. The world looked different. My room, my reflection, even my thoughts. Everything felt lighter, like I had dropped a weight I didn't know I was carrying. And most of all, I felt clear, like I had met myself for the first time in years. Friends, here is what I learned. Staring into your own eyes for an hour is not just an experiment. It's a ritual, one more ancient and powerful than most of us realize. It's not about seeing something strange, it's about seeing what's always been there, hiding beneath layers of noise, memory, identity, and time. The mirror doesn't show you your face, it shows you, your unfinished business. At first, it feels like you are watching yourself, but soon something strange happens. You stop being the watcher. You become the watched. There is a moment, quiet but undeniable, when the boundary between you and it dissolves, and what's left is something beyond name. A raw, breathing stillness that sees without judgment, without identity, without fear. That is consciousness without form. And in that moment, you don't just realize who you are, you realize who you have never been. You are not your job, not your relationships, not the stories you repeat in your head every day. You are not even your thoughts, because when thoughts fade, something remains, a presence, a silent witness, a vast still ocean underneath the crashing waves. That's what I meant. The deeper truth? We have been taught to fear silence, to avoid our own gaze, because the moment we truly look into our own eyes, we see everything we have buried: shame, regret, rage, longing, grief. They rise like shadows from a cave, but instead of running from them, the mirror forces you to face them. And here is the miracle. When you do, they don't destroy you, they free you. Each tear, each flicker of fear, each unfamiliar face that appears in your reflection, it's not trying to scare you, it's trying to complete you. Because you are not broken, you are simply forgotten. Friends, this practice stripped away the noise and reminded me of one terrifying, liberating truth. I am not this body, I am not this name, I am not this moment in time. I am awareness, vast, untouched, and eternal, watching this story unfold. And when awareness stares into awareness, the illusion of separation vanishes. You begin to realize the face you have been staring at is not just your own. It belongs to every living thing. You are the universe waking up to itself. So, no, this is not a game. It's not a hack or some mystical trick. It's a mirror to the soul, a test of presence, and an invitation to meet the part of you that never changes. The you that was there before birth and will remain after the last breath. So, when you stare into your own eyes for long enough, you don't just see yourself, you finally meet yourself. And that changes everything. Friends, sometimes the deepest truths are hidden in your own reflection. Subscribe if you want more journeys into the unknown. Stay curious, stay awake. Thank you for watching.